Rob,
right,
what do you
dude.
got for us in the RVDology department this week, huh?
All right. Yeah. So I'll talk at you for a minute. I know that I am well heard. Uh, just looking through some of the comments as well. Always enjoy talking with you people. So this is wait. Can you? Oh yeah. Whoa,
Oh,
man.
did you find something?
I'm so far behind on comments. What did you say?
Oh, I thought you needed something.
Oh no. I'm like reading through, and I always think like I'm at the other end of the list, like I'm almost to the end of it because I've been kind of scrolling a little here and there,
Yeah.
and then I realize I'm still at the beginning, and there's like 2 hours of people. But okay, well, anyway, this is just something that I just thought was worth sharing with you. Something to keep in mind. It's a value that I believe in, a way to be. I think that people are so ready to go off, and it's a position where they're just waiting for something to happen. They're prepared so much they want it to happen. Therein lies potential for some really bad shit to go down. I remember one time when I was, geez, probably, let's say high school. I used to hang out with Eric Peterson, the kid across the street, and his older brother Mark was someone that at this time I was having problems with. I wanted to fight him. I was at that stupid age, trying to um, feel more powerful by having someone scared of me. Like I remember. Well, let me get there. For some reason, I was gonna fight. And it was Mark. And anyway, I remember hanging up my pillow in my doorway and practicing punching it with intention and with a certain movement so that I could be ready. Kind of thing where like I'm not really facing it. Bam, like what? Bam, turning my shoulder into it, kind of like a surprise, like working on the power speed. I did that so much. I had myself like so ready. I was just like, just boom, let Mark do something and let him fucking come at me right now. Let him push me like he did last time or whatever it was. Had myself ready, geared, ready to go. I'm playing basketball with Eric, and something happened where we ran into each other while we're shooting. I think maybe he pushed me or something. I don't know. But I gave him that punch before I even knew what was happening. I just had myself like so geared up to throw it and so predetermined to recognize when I was going to be in that situation. Bam, I hit him right between his eyes, broke his glasses, hit him right in the nose, which doesn't feel good. Of course, he's pissed, you know. Um, and then he wanted to fight. And then for me, this was an issue because before I had the power trip on him where, he wouldn't have wanted to, he fed my ego before that and acted like we both knew he wouldn't want to fight me because I would beat him up. Stupid mind games. But I remember after no, this ain't cool. I don't want to fight you, man. We got the fort together in the backyard. We gotta be friends. We can't fight, man. I didn't want nothing to do with fighting him, and he was pissed and he was ready to fight. I remember uh, being at his house, like maybe the next day or something, and talking with his mom about it. And I just remember even saying, like, no, Eric knows he doesn't want to fight me. And his mom, I feel like she called me out for being that punk a lot of times. When I think about it, I think back to like she was on to me being full of shit and sticking up for her kids. And she said, I think Eric could take you. And all of a sudden my ego was like, what? And she was like, yeah, I think he could. I think he'd be able to take you. And I said, Eric knows better. And then Eric got brave from his mom saying that. So I don't know, man. I think maybe I could take you. And I just remember like that crushing me, coming down on me like, oh no, now I might have to actually prove something, you know. And it's crazy how like just having that power over somebody, feeling like you have them in a position, how that can feed your fucking ego. And you might not realize it at the time, but you're being an asshole to the cop, to the teacher, to the authoritative figure that tells the person that's arguing with them, anytime, you know, you think you're going to go up against me, I'll tell you what, you're going to find that you're going to lose every single time. You got it? Hey, you're being an asshole. You're telling me you're never, ever wrong. Whoever goes up against you, no, you're doing a power trip. You're trying to put them in your place. You're trying to make yourself feel validated as a superior at their expense. And that's really what's going on there. I talked about this night one time on an RVDology episode when I was in Savannah, Georgia. A little older now. Now I'm 23, 24, still a punk. In fact, I got a tank top on. I'm walking around feeling like I'm all big in a crowded bar, which of course is asking for trouble. Some trouble happens, and I ended up getting jumped. I guess I won't tell the whole story here, but because I've already told it. But the lesson that I learned there was to put my gloves back up and get ready for the next one, because there's another one coming, because shit ain't over. Because there was a bunch of people. It was really crowded. There was an altercation. We were all watching it. And then one guy came over to me and got in my face. He goes, what the hell was that? What happened? And then and he was setting me up. I didn't know, but his buddy that's behind him reached around and smacked me across the face. Here I said I wasn't going to tell the whole thing, but basically that's what happened. I grabbed this guy by the shoulders and I threw a beautiful round kick. Bam! That fucking knocked the guy down. Anyway, the next night, I went out looking for them, and I had gone to the martial arts store at the flea market and gotten this spiked shoe cover that you could, it's like a plate that over top of your foot, over your shoe, you put it in with your shoelaces, and your shoelaces will hold it in, and it's got spikes on it. And I was looking for that motherfucker because I want to hit him with that exact same beautiful round kick that knocked him off his feet, but this time I wanted to stick it in his head, right? And I was ready to do it. Of course, we didn't run into them. We looked for them. Me and my buddy didn't see them anywhere that night. And you know what? I'm fucking glad. How stupid was I to go out looking for trouble like that? What good is going to come out of that? Revenge? I'm going to my name, my reputation is going to grow a little bit. There'll be some stories if it turns out good. Stupid. So what I did was I went from being in a defensive mode to actually being proactive. That's inconsistent with considering myself passive, which is my default. I learned. I'm at where I am now, and now I'd like to think that I would handle those situations differently. It's one thing to be ready. Hitting that pillow, man, next time, you know, if someone tries to fuck with me and make me look bad and shove me or whatever, I'm going to pop them. I got them. But to go out and be proactive and actually want it to happen, now you cross the line, and now you're not in a good place, you know? Same thing with walking around with a fucking weapon on my foot in Savannah, Georgia. I see this all the time. On Instagram, I follow a lot of, or several pages that are brutal, that you have to get permission or ask permission to follow, whatever. A lot of them are gunshots, gunfights, scary shootings. I like to see how it really happens, to compare that to what we see in fictional TV shows and movies. The way the body drops, the way that they pop out and surprise people, it's all different in real life. And anyway, I like to know that for educational purposes. But I've seen so many people, and you know these people too, they have a gun and they're just ready. They're just ready. Hey, Someone fucks with me, boom, they're going to wish they hadn't. That's what I know. In their mind, they already have the problem solved before there's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's not very passive, but it's easy to fall into that. They do it with guns all the time. I remember one case. There's a father and son in one car, and then there's another car, and the son gets out, and this black dude gets out of the other car, and they're in each other's faces having words, arguing about who ran into who or whatever, and the dad says something from inside the car, and the son just sidesteps a little bit, and the dad shoots, kills the dude. And the thing was, it was so calculated. It seemed like they already had this move. Like they already knew, like, hey, if something happens, son, you get right there, block the window, I'll get the gun. And then when I say the word, step aside, I'll shoot him from sitting right here. You could just tell. It was like they already had the machination in their head. And again, they've already got the problem solved. Well, I see a lot of road rage, and I watch those shows on TV besides Instagram. I watch Road Wars. I watch Road Rage. I love to see people that are just so angry they have to fight. And every one of them thinks that they're so tough. And every one of them has the solution. A lot of times the solution is in the trunk of the car. Boom, there'll be a little fender bender. You watch them like go right around, open up their trunk, reach it in, and they pull out. And they're going for something, their solution. Be it a machete, a baseball bat, fucking whatever it is, that they're thinking, if I get into a problem, boom, this is going to solve right here. I'm going to go for this. They are convinced that they're going to have this situation handled because they're ready with that violent thought right fucking there. And so what happens when they come out and they swing that one time and then fucking drop it? Oh shit, now their game is gone. Now what? Fuck. Maybe they shouldn't have had their head up their ass being ready for something to happen. Well, one, they weren't ready at all in the first place. And two, it could still be avoided. That's where being passive comes in. It's cool to be ready. It's cool to know that you feel comfortable as far as like chances are you could protect yourself. You could be safe. You still want to avoid it. You still want to be passive. It's still best if nobody gets hurt tonight. This might be a stranger to you. Might be your fault, might be his fault. This person might have a family. They might have kids waiting for them to come home. Well, right now, the person with the gun that just says, oh, I'm ready anytime right here. They don't even care about that. They want it to happen. They're manifesting themselves being challenged so that they can test themselves with the solution that they have. And so this is what I want to talk about is being passive. The same kid, Eric, what's Eric's last name? Army dude. I haven't talked to him in so long. Fuck. I'll remember it, Eric. Sorry, dude. But he's the one that got me in that altercation at the bar in Savannah when I'm walking around. That was our relationship. He was like a little brother to me. He would pick fights and say, you got to fuck with my brother then if you want to mess with me. And I was a punk. The most positive spin I can put on it is I was looking to learn, to test myself. I enjoyed the competition of competing with other people that were looking for competition. But that's all just a positive spin, shining up a really dirty thing that is violence, injury, anger. None of that is anything that I want to put up with or have with me right now. I'm in Savannah. I'm with that dude, the same dude, Eric, and we're at a different bar just a few blocks from there on a different night. And he has a problem with some guy named Josh. And I was by the door, and Eric comes over to get me, and he says, "Rob," he said, "I might need you to take care of something for me." And I look, and I'm drinking, and I'm, oh yeah, what, you got a problem? To this guy Josh, and I just remember, and it sticks out in my mind right now because I didn't necessarily want to hurt the guy. He seemed like a nice guy, and it brought out the passive side of me that I think we should long for to maintain. He's like, what? What are you, like some kind of badass or something? I go, I don't know. I mean, not really. I mean, if you want to find out, if you need to find out, we can go outside and find out, dude, if you really want to. But I wouldn't if I were you. And he's like, and then he's really curious, like, what? Why? What's that mean? Like, and I said, dude, nothing, dude. I mean, we can go find out. I'm just telling you, man. I know that I'm going to kick your ass. I eat Josh's for breakfast. I remember saying something almost exactly like that. Or I eat 3 Josh's for breakfast. Something really stupid like that, which is why I remember that his name is Josh, because that became an inside joke for me and Eric for a long time, eating Josh's for breakfast. But the guy, he was like thinking about it. He was curious, but he really wanted to know. And he was like, well, are you like a ninja? Or are you some, special, special forces? And I was like, dude, like, Josh, you know what, bro? If you want to go out and test yourself against me, we could do it. I'm going to hurt you. You're going to wish you didn't. Otherwise, you should just shut the fuck up and leave right now. And the guy was just like, like he was really thinking about it. I was like, I mean, either way is cool with me, dude. And, I wasn't as much of an asshole looking back at it, because that is totally the vibe that I had. It's up to you, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to take me long if you need to find out. But if I were you, I'd rather go home not bloody. And anyway, that was just one night that sticks out in my mind. We didn't fight. The guy, like the kid actually seemed cool. Maybe I would have been friends with him on another night, but he was just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm good, and he left. And, but I wasn't bullshitting or talking up a storm. That was my level of confidence. That's how I felt, but I didn't feel proactive at all. I felt passive. I did feel like it'd be better if we didn't fight. And so, that's the other side to the coin that I'm remembering right now from my punk days. And I just want the Van Dam fam to keep this in mind, bro. It's one thing to be ready, and be prepared and make yourself feel safe. Put the odds in your corner. Make the chances that you're going to come out all right as high as you can. But don't go manifesting bad shit to happen. That's my advice to you.
I like it. Yes. I know. There's so many times where like something gets you angry or you're revved up, and then you're just like, all right, you envision what you want to have happen in your head. And like,
but there's consequences, there's jail time, there's lawsuits, there's injuries, not to mention it's easy as fuck to die. I've seen at least 4 or 5 different reports in the last year on people that got punched one time and went down and died.
Wow.
It happens from hitting their head on the sidewalk or from just being rocked from the punch. Either way, man, it's not like the movies. It's not like on TV. In real life, bro, learn as much as you can through other people's experiences. And if you can, learn through mine.
Yeah, there you go. Good advice, Rob. I like it. RPDology. It's great stuff.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, guys. If you
we learn from experience 2 ways: our own experience and someone else's experience. And it's up to you to decide when is when. Sometimes, hey, you just gotta try that. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, could be a person, could be doing something with somebody or whatever it is. You're the one in charge of that. That's what life is. You get to decide, am I going to learn from firsthand experience or secondhand experience, from someone telling me about it or reading a book or just learning from history, what happened when other people did this. That's it. You learn from experience. We build experience as we go. Let's stay on top of shit.
Stay on top of it. Stay on top of it. Guys, good advice. Even I'm Grown says, thank you, RVD. A lot of people would benefit from that advice, for sure. And then Seth says, hashtag Josh. Hashtag Josh.
I eat I eat Josh's for breakfast, man.
Man, you eat Josh's for breakfast?
I think that club was called the Zoo.
Oh,
Maybe. Or no, Zoo was behind it. Yeah, I don't know. One of the Savannah, there's a lot of the whole downtown is bar after bar after bar. It's a whole big district, and
oh,
that's and there's army, military there and shit, and there's and yeah, I just when I look back at my mentality, my thoughts, my view on the world, my perspective when I was that young. God, I wouldn't want to go back in time for anything. I just feel like common sense was still on its way.
right. And like you're always learning. That's the thing too. Is like I'll look back too, even 10 years ago, and something like, oh man, I was such a fucking moron back then. Even.
Yeah, well, that has a lot to do with what we talk about with when next week when we're going to talk about regret. You have to keep that in mind. That person that did that or that didn't do that said that or didn't say that, whatever, that person that experienced that's not the same person that's right here right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Over years, what you need in life changes, what you want in life, what you know about life, everything changes in time. And so, even if you're in a relationship with somebody and you're with them for 10 years, you got to take that into account too, instead of expecting everything to be just like what you talked about 10 years ago, because life happened.
Life happens. Yeah. Shit gets in the way. Things, change. It's anything. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Regret is not a healthy emotion. Looking forward to talking about it next week. Give yourself a break, give yourself a break, and we'll talk about it next